Hi there, and welcome to First Light Fridays, your monthly showcase of Indigenous culture, music, and conversation right here in Newfoundland and Labrador. My name is Kassidy Lush, and I'm your host for this episode. I'm 14 years old, and I live in St. John's, and I'm Mi'kmaq. I'm in junior high, and I'm getting really sick of online classes these days, but I'm getting through it. I'm really ready to get back to normal and see my friends and family. This is my very first time hosting a radio show, and I'm excited to hang out with you for the next half hour and share some stories and songs with you. Coming up on today's show,
I actually have a very old jigger from my great-great-grandfather.
We head to the Big Land to hear from some young storytellers.
Ooh, another hard question.
Getting to know First Light's new executive director, I chat with Stacey House. Plus,
oh, good morning there, Poppy's girl.
My pop got his COVID vaccine this month, what that was like and how he's still playing it safe. And I also throw in a couple of my favorite tunes by Indigenous artists. But right now,
I'm pretty positive that it was from watching my gram and my other family members.
How a teenager in Riglet is keeping the tradition of grasswork alive.
Hi, I'm Ella Jock. I'm 15 years old and I live in Riglet, which is a small community on the north coast of Labrador that has a pretty big history in grasswork and grass sowers, especially in my family. I first learned how to do grasswork when I was about 9 years old, and it was my gram that taught me how to do it. And she's been sewing since she was a kid, so she's very, very experienced, and she still teaches me to this day whenever there's something that I'm not really sure how to do. Grasswork is a form of grass weaving that has been passed down in my family for generations and generations. And it's made using saltwater grass that you pick in the late fall, and it used to be used years ago more so for more practical purposes like pot holders and coasters and baskets. And I've even heard tell of people making bassinets for their babies, and nowadays it's more so used as decoration and like as an art form instead of for practical use. But it's still just as special, I think. Grasswork from start to finish can sometimes take like months and months, and it's a very, very long process from picking the saltwater grass, like I mentioned earlier, out on the land, and that grass needs to be dried and soaked properly before you can actually sew with it. And when you do start sewing too, it's very, very repetitive, and I think that's part of the reason why it takes so long. But you start off with a knot using the grass, and you get another piece of grass as your thread, and you go around and around the knot, you sew around and around over and over in kind of a spiral motion, and you do that until you get your desired shape. And I think what's really, really special about grasswork, and I think it's one of my favorite things about grasswork, is that you can really make it into anything that you want to make it into. Like, as long as you have an image in your mind of something that you want to make, you can take that and you can do it. And it's just so diverse, which is something that I really, really love about it. Grasswork for me is something that's been passed down for generations and generations. Doing something that I know that my ancestors did and that my family that came before me did and passed on to their children definitely makes me feel very connected to my culture and my family and my history. And that, I think, is what makes it that much more special. My message to other young people about the importance of keeping the tradition alive would probably be to listen and to learn as much as you can from your parents and your grandparents and your elders, they have so much experience and they just know how to help you and how to teach you so well. That's probably the best advice that I'd be able to give, would be to listen and to take all of it in and to talk to your grandparents and your family and to learn that way.
That was 15-year-old Ella Jack of Rigolette. My name is Kassidy Lush, and this is First Light Fridays, where we explore all things Indigenous in Newfoundland and Labrador, and sometimes beyond. Since we're not allowed to travel right now, a lot of people are missing the places they normally love to go. One of my favorite places to go is Conn River, Miabigik First Nation. I have so many great memories visiting my nan and pop there and going every summer to the powwow and swimming at the falls. 14-year-old Philip Snow of Happy Valley Goose Bay loves the place Spotted Islands.
A place that I would really enjoy to go would have to be Spotted Islands. It's a relaxing place to enjoy with your friends and family. It's a place on the south coast of Labrador, and that's where my ancestors grew up. Each year in the summertime, my family went to Spotted Islands. When they were there, they went fishing a lot. They went out in a small boat and used a jigger to get the fish. I actually have a very old jigger from my great-great-grandfather, and to hold this in my hand means a lot because it's from my ancestors and it's from the past and you can't have a duplicate of it. Seal hunting was a really big part of Spotted Islands, and this ulu was used to take the sealskin and scrape it off to use to craft their sealskin boots to keep them warm and all that. And my great uncle's mom used this tool to scrape, actually make these boots, and these are really unique and special and really actually rare because these were really old. I learned a whole lot of information from my ancestors that I never knew before, and I learned so much new stuff of what it means to be Indigenous, and I could just start a new adventure by going seal hunting with my dad even, or with my mom. I could cook, learn how to bake, loads of more different stuff. I think Spotted Islands would be an incredible place to go. I would really enjoy it because I would spend time with my pop fishing and loads of more stuff. If you ever get the chance to go, definitely take it because from my experience and what I heard, Spotted Islands would be sick.
That's 14-year-old Philip Snow of Happy Valley Goose Bay. Thank you to the Labrador Friendship Center Shield Project and to the National Center for Collaboration in Indigenous Education for producing that video. You can find them on YouTube by searching LFC Shield Project. Now, let's head a little further north to hear from a couple of students in Natwashish about what they like to do on the land when the snow leaves the ground.
We sometimes go on the boat every summer or fall, gathering bake apples. We don't have much luck sometimes, but most of the time we manage to find so much. How much did you get?
I don't know. I just ate them when I found them.
Didn't bother collecting them?
No.
I'm guessing that you kept eating some when she wasn't looking.
Yeah, they were good.
I never really ate a bake apple off the ground before. I just waited until my grandma made either bake apple pie or jam.
Or cheesecake.
Yeah, cheesecake too.
Yeah, it's good with baked apples.
We also go egg hunting too. We gather duck eggs or seagulls sometimes.
Yeah, I love those eggs. They come in different colors, so they're good.
Duck eggs are slightly bigger than regular eggs, about 1 inch bigger. They have brownish spots and greenish skin. When you try to go gathering, it's pretty smelly once you get near the nest, since all the duck feces or all the smell from the eggs come out. You just gotta clean it thoroughly though, but it's worth it.
Thank you to students Metchahese and Ganawit, students in Natwashish, and to Min Student Radio Podcast for that story. You can find that amazing podcast by searching Min Student Radio on Facebook. Still to come on the show,
Hey, Poppy. How are you today?
I'm going to give my pop Joe Duvall a call.
I'm doing fine.
He recently got his first dose of the COVID-19 vaccine, so I want to ask him some questions about that. But right now, getting to know First Light's brand new executive director, Stacey House. I've known Stacey since I was about 4 or 5. She used to be my youth leader at the center, and I think she might be one of my favorite people.
So my name is Stacey, and I have 2 little boys, a 3-year-old and a 2-month-old, and I am in an all-women drum group called Eastern Owl. So I grew up in Conn River, Mi'kmaq First Nation. It's the only Indigenous reserve on the island portion of the province, and I grew up there, graduated high school, and then moved to St. John.
What do you miss about Conn River the most?
I really miss friends and family, the scenery, nature, just, everyone knowing each other, driving out the road, waving to people that you know, just the friendly community environment and support, and of course that connection to culture.
Cool. How long have you been working at First Light for?
Well, like I said, I graduated high school. I moved to St. John's, attended Memorial University, and it was just, I think, the following year that I discovered St. John's Native Friendship Center, as it was called back then. And I actually started going because of my friend's mom, Newell Joe. His mom worked there. And I started out as a youth worker in the summertime, and that was back in 2007. So going on 14 years now.
Wow. What's your favorite thing about working at First Light?
Oh, there's so much. When I first start going there, and just when you first move to the city, coming from a small community, like it's new, right? It's a whole new world. You don't know anyone. So being able to find the friendship center and meet friends, they just become your support network. And that connection to your culture is just so powerful. And just meeting everyone, I met your mom there, I met you there. It's just amazing. And it provides so many opportunities.
That's so cool. If you could have tea with anybody in the whole wide world, who would it be with and why?
I would love to have another cup of tea with my grandparents, Linda and John Stride. They both passed on, and I would love to just hear stories, hear them talking about, how they grew up and how things are so different, and just seeing the love that they shared between each other. That would just be so, so special.
If you had a time machine and you could visit your past to the future, what would you choose?
I would definitely go back in time and visit my past, and I would talk to my young self, especially as a teenager, and I would, give myself a lecture, tell myself to stop taking for granted, and, just I wish I had that opportunity, because when you're so young and you think you know so much, and then you have to learn, and then, you always wish you could do these things sometimes.
Yeah, definitely.
So be nice to your mom. I know you are anyways.
I try my best. Moose meat or caribou meat?
Ooh, another hard question. I'm going to have to say caribou meat because it's more rare. I always have a freezer full of moose meat.
Yeah, true.
I get that all the time, but I would love to have some caribou meat right about now.
You have 2 young children. What do you feel is most important that they should learn or know about their culture?
I mean, as much as possible. I think everything,
100%, yeah.
I would want to teach them that everything I know about my culture, and of course I'm still learning as well. So I would love the opportunity to learn with them and learn as much and absorb as much as possible.
Now you know the executive director of First Light a little better. Thanks to Stacey House for chatting with me. My puppy Joe is the best at fishing and loves it when I visit him at the cabin. I'm missing him a lot during the pandemic. Like many seniors in the province, my pup is getting vaccinated for COVID-19. I wanted to ask him some questions about that, so I gave him a call.
Hey, Poppy. How are you today? Oh, good morning there, Poppy's girl. I'm doing fine.
Yeah? How is Nanny?
Nanny is doing well.
I heard that you guys got your COVID vaccines this week.
Yes, we certainly did. We got it on March the 3rd, and no side effects or anything.
That's good. Did you guys, did it hurt?
Actually, you didn't realize that the needle was going in.
Really?
Yeah.
That's good. And, it didn't hurt your arm or anything after? Was your arm sore?
Rosie's wasn't, but mine was just a little tender, that's all.
Yeah, well, which usually happens with needles.
Yeah.
So, what are you doing to, stay safe and everything?
Well, what we do, we do a lot of activities outdoors, we'll go for a walk, and I'll carry in my firewood, and we'll just do a lot of things outdoors, We just keep active. We try to stay off of the Chesterfield as much as possible,
Well, yeah. Why do you think it's important to get the COVID vaccine?
Well, actually, I think it's really important, especially if you've got loved ones and family and that you care about. You want to try to protect them as much as possible by getting the vaccine so it won't spread. And,
yeah.
Yeah.
Do you think it's important for other seniors to get the vaccine?
Definitely. I guess our bodies, as we get older, we don't have the immune system or that we should, we did have when we were younger, and and this is why it's so important that we get active as well. We eat the proper foods and vegetables and juices and plenty of water and sunshine in the air.
Anyway, Poppy, it was so nice to talk to you. I miss you so much, and I cannot wait to see you when this is all over.
Yes, and same here, Cass. Certainly misses you, and I'd like to leave with this little famous quote that Dr. Janice Fitzgerald gives every time she's on, and she says, "Be kind to one another," and that's what we have to do. Be kind and be there for people, especially at this trying times. You have a good day, my baby, and we love you.
I love you too, Poppy.
That's my pop, Joe Duvall. He lives in Miabagik, and I can't wait to see him soon. That's it for the March edition of First Late Fridays. I'm so glad you were able to spend this half hour with me. If you missed any of the previous episodes, you can hear those at cbc.ca/nl/community. We'll be back with you next month. That's the second Friday of April. I'm Kassidy Lush. Thank you so much for tuning in.